Hey, 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 welcome to Get Into It with Tami Roman. How you feeling tonight, soulmates? Thank you for joining me, and I have another great show lined up for you with my special guest. YoYo is in the building, and she's here to talk about taking your skills to the next level. And you know, I got to help my people out. Ask Tami is coming up later in the show. Now, this is where I give you guys advice on your relationships, your work situations, or family issues happening at home. I'll be answering a brand new Ask Tami question a little later. Plus, I've got my power minute coming up with some words to lift your spirits. But first, you know what time it is? Unpopular opinion. Kim Kardashian is going through her well-publicized divorce from Kanye West, and the couple have 4 kids together. However, Kanye is Kim's third husband. In 2011, Kim dated and later married Kris Humphries, and that union only lasted 72 days. Womp womp. Now, Kim is worried about explaining her past marriage to her oldest daughter, North. In a promo for her reality show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim tells brother-in-law Scott Disick, I don't really want to explain, who Kris Humphries is. And this made me think about why we keep secrets from our family. The real question is, are there certain times when it's better to keep your business separate from your family? Here's what I have to say about that. And I love when I can relate things that people are going through to my personal experience. I did a show in 1993 called The Real World. And on that show, I felt it was groundbreaking in the sense they moved 7 people into a house and they taped everything about our lives from sunup to sundown for 6 months. Well, over the course of my life, being as transparent as I could possibly be on the show, I actually had an abortion. And at the time, no one even talked about abortion in this way. And they certainly didn't show it on TV. The reason I made that choice was because I felt like there was another person sitting at home that might be faced with this decision. And I wanted to show how my being irresponsible with my sexual promiscuity caused me to be in this situation. And now I had to make a choice that I wasn't really ready to make, either being a mom, not ready to do that, and or terminate the pregnancy. Really didn't want to do that. Many years later, I think my oldest daughter was 6, Lyric. We were in the mall. And someone came up to me and they said, which is the dumbest question on the face of the planet, but they felt they needed to ask it. Is this the baby you had the abortion? Now, if it was, she wouldn't be here in this mall with us while we're having this dumb conversation. But it was that very moment that I said, I have to be the type of parent that tells my children everything and not sugarcoat anything. So that night I went home and I explained to Lyric that there was a baby before her and that women have a right to choose what they want to do with the rest of their lives, thanks to Roe versus Wade. And I really tried to break it down in a way that she could comprehend. And then I showed her that episode of The Real World. Someone may say at 6 years old, she was far too young to comprehend that. I say, if they know all the lyrics to Crazy in Love, Drunk in Love, and every song that Beyonce has ever made, and they can drop it and twerk it like the City Girls and they twerkulator, and they know all of Body Yaddy Yaddy, which half of the time I don't even know what some of these rappers are saying, but they know every lyric and they can process that, then they can process things that are going on in their lives. What I created was a dynamic between my daughters and myself where it was open door. I could come to them with things that had happened in my past, and they could come to me with things they were dealing with right now and on into the future. So, Kim, I said that. I told this story specifically for you. North is super intelligent. And by the way, I love when I see y'all together because North does not play with you, baby. She runs you ragged D. And I love to see it. It is so funny. I wish you would do a show with like your kids and you, because I would really watch that. But North is super intelligent. And she's very wise in the sense of what's happening for you guys as a family, being an entertainment family. I think that you should sit her down and absolutely tell her who Chris is. Show her a picture of who Chris is. Because what you don't want is the paparazzi that follow y'all around every day of your lives to come up and say something crazy, and she feels like she was not afforded the opportunity as your daughter and a family member to know the information. So that's my advice for that. Next subject. Halle Berry is in love. You know I love me some Halle Berry, child. You know I love, there's people that you can't talk about in my household. Halle Berry, Regina Hall, Taraji P. Henson, and Mary J. Blige. There it is. You need to know that ahead of time. My sis is in love and it looks good on her. She recently shared photos that she took with her boyfriend and musician Van Hunt. Now, Halle wrote in her caption, "We do this thing called whatever the F we want." Now, I follows Halle and I saw the photo, super sexy, super in love. You know, I just feel like this is perfect. It's so perfect. But unfortunately, a social media troll left her a questionable comment saying, "I think you love him more than he loves you." Halle, of course, like she was supposed to, clapped back and set the record straight, stating, "Don't think so. Not this time." Halle has had her share of relationships that didn't work out. But why do you people feel that you need to be negative towards her? Is it out of jealousy or envy? What is it, soulmates? Well, here's my unpopular opinion. Halle Berry has been very public with all of her relationships. So from that standpoint, we've been welcomed into her world, right? Now, for the first time, she posts, but she doesn't let us all the way in her relationship dynamic with Van. And I personally feel that you guys are trying to keep her in the box you like her to be in. You like to bring up the old relationships and the past and the failed relationships that she's been a part of. What you need to be focused on is your relationship. But if you choose to comment on Halle's at all, let's celebrate her. Even if, let's just say, she does love him more than he loves her. So what? One thing about Halle Berry is she's not going to stop trying to find love. And I personally feel, who has witnessed all the relationships? Like I said, I follow her and I've seen all the dynamics. You know, I used to be on her show Extant on CBS. Ow, get it? So I'm very familiar with her. And I'm excited to see her in love again. I think this woman is beautiful, intelligent, in tune with who she is as an individual. And she just needed to keep going until she found the person that was going to be equally yoked with her. And Van, the sexy, distinguished musician man that he is, I feel is it. And I have nothing but love and prayers, and I'm sending peace and joy their way so that they stay together for the long haul. I'm happy for you, Halle. Y'all best to leave Halle alone. Now, moving on to the next subject. The economic fallout from the pandemic is widespread, and many people and businesses have been able to survive with government-issued pandemic relief funds. While most people have used the money for essential items, a few of y'all, a few peoples out there have taken the cash and have been balling out of control. For example, there was a woman named Danielle in Florida who used fraudulent info to get a pandemic-related federal loan. Then she spent the money on cross-country flights, luxury hotel rooms, and then flaunted her lavish lifestyle on Instagram. So I have to wonder if people are really stupid enough to post their illegal activities on the gram. Yes, they are. Listen, if you know that you're doing something that is out of pocket, you need to keep that to yourself, because the minute it changes, we become aware of where you got your money. Now, Danielle out of Florida, if you wasn't in the lavish hotels, and we all know that the government has been giving out these loans, we're going to put 2 and 2 together and get 4, okay? We're going to get 4 on that ass, Danielle. So you needed to have either been living this lifestyle, or we're going to know where the money is coming from. And a lot of y'all tend to do this. You're posting guns, you're posting all other kind of weapons, you're posting stacks and stacks of money. You think the IRS ain't looking? You think they don't see what you're doing? A lot of people have been caught because they go to social media telling all their business. Now, I personally did not apply for the PPE loans and none of these federal loans, because I am the person that I'm going to buy something that don't qualify. Okay. I know myself. I'm going to get the hundreds of thousands from y'all, and then I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. But I'm also going to probably buy a car or something. Or I'm going to buy something that need to go in my house. I'm that girl. So rather than put myself in that position, I said, Tammy, if you don't really need the loan, then do not apply for it. And that's what some of y'all should have done, because you're getting busted because you don't even know how to hit. That's called new money. That's what they call it. That's my grandma saying. See, that's that new money. You don't even know how to handle money. Lay low, especially if you're being crooked. Moving on to the next topic. Last week, I had Dr. Ish on the show, and we talked about deal breakers in relationships. This also made me think about what single people are looking for in a potential partner. Now, I was scouring for topics, and I found an article, okay, that said there are essential questions that you should be asking by the 3rd date. Now, question number 1, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Question number 2, what short-term goals are you looking to achieve? And then there was number 3, how do you feel about children? If you are wondering whether these questions are important to me, I'm about to tell you. You need to have a list. My concern is the 3rd date thing. I feel that you haven't really given yourself a chance to get to know this person just from a sense of being friends. And a lot of times when we go out on dates, or, we feel like this person could potentially be the one, we start asking the long-term questions far too quickly. And we don't even know if they are into us like that. And so from my point of view, you absolutely should have your list of questions, right? Because you need to know if people are on one accord with you. But that needs to come after you've developed a friendship first. Relationships can thrive and stand the test of time if they're built on friendship. We've seen it with J-Lo and A-Rod. They getting a full-on divorce and they having dinner. You know why? Because they are friends first. And people tend to skip that step, and we've got to stop doing that. Don't jump right in. The first date with somebody, second date with somebody, and it's like, well, child, do you think you want to have children and all this? Because the person is going to be taken aback, like, well, that's personal, and I don't really feel that we're there yet. So you've scared them off, where you actually could have had a good time, just relaxing conversation, not too deep talk and speak. You know what I mean? Just getting to know them as a friend first. Take your time, have your questions, but take your time before you throw them out there. Cause that's why y'all ain't locking nothing down. You're scaring people off. You're looking thirsty and desperate. Relax a little bit. That's my unpopular opinion, people. It's not always popular, but it's always honest. Let's get into today's topic, taking your skills to the next level. My guest YoYo knows all about that, and she's going to be coming back after the break, joining us to give us all the deets. You know where you at. It's Get Into It with Tami Roman, and this is FOXSOUL. Welcome back to Get Into It with Tami Roman. Now, my next guest is a Grammy-nominated rapper, actress, entrepreneur, voiceover artist, hip hop teacher, and fashionista. I hope I got it all in there, because I tell you, this woman does it all. Please welcome YoYo to the show.
Hey, hi Tami.
How are you?
I am doing great and amazing. How are you?
I'm well. I can't complain. I don't think anybody would care anyway, but I really can't.
Well, congratulations, and I love you, and it's good to see you. I'm glad to be on your show. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy that you're here. You know, we've been trying to get you on for a minute because I was like, get YoYo. So
that's right. Go get your home girl.
That's right. You know, I'd like to congratulate you on a major milestone. Your debut album, Make Way for the Motherlode, was debuted in 1991.
Yes.
Okay. Like, how does it feel to look back at how it all started?
Well, thank you so much. And it feels so good. You know, 30 years, when I started at 17, I didn't even know what I was doing. I had no idea what demographic I was speaking to. I had no idea who my audience was. I didn't even understand how powerful lyrics was, how big hip hop was. I just knew that the king of LA was coming to save YoYo. And shout out to my boy Ice Cube for, wanting to produce music with me.
You know, it's something to hear you say that, because for all of us who watched you when you came out, it was like, yo, she's talking for us. To us, she represents like me, the girls just from around the way that know how to spit. You know what I'm saying? And was spitting some real stuff.
Yeah.
So to hear you say like, I didn't have a clue. It's like,
I didn't have a clue how big it was going to be. I knew I was speaking from women. I mean, when I came out in hip hop, men was calling women skeezers, sluts. I ain't the one. I ain't getting your hair, your nails done. I don't trust no. It was just all that kind of language going on. But at the same time, hip hop on the East Coast had so many different genres of it. And on the West Coast, we were just creating rap. We were creating a voice of our community. Yeah. We were creating something so when I came out speaking up just in hip hop, listening to Roxanne Shante, fan of Run DMC, putting my radio in my bunk bed with my hands up under my chin, listening to LL Cool J's I Need Love. I mean, it was a lot for me, but at the same time, I didn't even understand. I mean, 17 years old, getting a deal with Atlantic Records. Thanks, shout out to Sylvia Roan. No, I had no idea what it was like, but I grew to know and grew to evolve into everything that I've been able to brand thereafter.
Yes, and it's very important, which leads us into tonight's topic, right? Taking your skill set, whatever that is, to the next level. Yeah. And as you said, you were a protege of Ice Cube and appeared as a guest on his America's Most Wanted album. YoYo, what I want to say is we cannot talk about female rap without saying YoYo the legend. So that's what we have now. But how did that collaboration come together between you and Cube?
Well, Cube was he was leaving NWA and building his brand and looking for a female artist. And shout out to T-Bone, who later became a member of the Lynch Mob. We were school buddies. So we went to school together. I had been performing at Washington Preparatory High School forever, killing all the male MCs ever. I'd like to
Yes.
think anyway. And he told him about me, and Cube said, "Yo, he wanted to hear me. We got along very well. I understood his rules and his level of success, and we worked together. And he helped take me to New York, and yeah."
Oh, I love it. And now your single, You Can't Play With My Yo-Yo, of course, that went #1 when
Yes.
it was released. How did that feel? Like you just said, I used to be in my bed with my boom box with other people. How did it feel to be the #1?
I was in Jack in the Box in the drive-through on Manchester and Hoover.
Mhm.
And I was listening, and I'm in the drive-through and I'm listening to um, the radio, and I'm hearing my song, and I'm getting ready to drive off. I'm like, oh wait, that's my song. I'm like, oh wait. The lady's like, yeah, that's my song. I'm like, no, that's me. Oh, it felt amazing because, you know, I'm an artist such as you, Tami. I mean, an artist recognized artist. So, we have that kind of kindership where I know I can feel an energy, I can recognize an energy of an artist. And for me to have been dancing in my mother's living room and entertaining her friends my entire um, uh, younger years, and then to have been performing, and it's like I grew into who I was supposed to be. And for me, it feels very good. It gave me what I wanted, and it gave me what I thought I wanted. I thought I just wanted to just be famous.
Right.
And then once I became famous, I realized that, oh God, it's more to it. It's a responsibility that goes along with it. And I can't keep my head to the skies my whole life. So then, it grew me up. And thanks to hip hop, Ice Cube, Sylvia Rone, Atlantic Records, Street Knowledge Productions, they grew me up into a successful woman.
I love that you said the business kind of grew you up, because what we noticed as fans of yours was by your second album, you started leaning more towards like more positive, uplifting themes and imagery. And I'm not saying that I didn't want to see that, right? But I felt like I was like, now, yo, come on, keep it straight. Come on now, you was talking some things, sis. But then you went in a different direction. What inspired you to do that?
And what's so crazy about that is I think that kind of like, hurt a lot of people's feelings, and kind of, once I got into my own, and that's just being a woman, I just got into my own self. Once I started traveling and realizing the power of hip hop, it scared me.
Mm-hmm.
It scared me because although I thought that someone would lead me and guide me and show me exactly how to be an artist, the artist that I am, and still be a great citizen, a great American, and a great woman. At that time, a lot of stuff was going on in the South Central. We had a crooked chief of police. We had the battle ram ramming into people's houses. We had young kids getting pulled out of their cars, laid flat to the concrete, face down. We had the Rodney King riots. We had Tasha Harling. We had the blacks, and it was a lot going on. So for me to keep coming forward as if I don't see it, and that's why we are the mothers of this earth. And that's why Black women are so powerful, because to keep moving forward and to act as if you don't see any of that is just throwing shade. And so I recognize that. Speaking to young girls, going and talking to group homes and detention centers with young girls that were in it, talking to young AIDS victims when AIDS was young. We didn't really know a lot of people who had AIDS in our community. So it was a lot for me to just come and talk some gangster. It didn't fit well in my
Out of place for you as an individual. And when you talk about the HIV, because that's when we found out about Easy, right? And nobody was expecting that. So now that you've explained it, I understand why you had to make that transition.
Yeah, it was almost like I wanted to say something to the Black people. Once I seen how much attention we got, Tami, once I seen how big, I'm from South Central Los Angeles. I've lived in Watts and Compton. I was born Linwood at the hospital, St. Francis and Hospital. So to be a part of Los Angeles, which people don't really realize, California, Los Angeles is really racist. They keep us, segregated, so it's a lot, so when I got a chance to really go and expand and evolve, I really started seeing stuff and I wanted to like make a difference.
And you were in Boys in the Hood. Now, a lot of people would say, well, of course she was going to be in it because Cube was her dog and all that. Did you audition though?
You know what? It started with, I went with Cube to the set and Cube introduced me to John Singleton. And John said, and I jokingly said, where's my part? And he goes, can you act? And I said, yeah, same thing I said when they asked me if I could skate in this Saturday's movie, television show. I said, of course I can. He said, well, let me see you talk to a baby. He had a part for me. He said, can you talk to a baby? And I was like, come here, baby. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. He was like, no, yo, not a dog, a baby.
Not a dog.
Not a dog, a baby. I said, oh. So he said, yeah, we put you out back with Regina King and, and he put
But now let me tell you the funny part. Let me tell you the funny part, YoYo, real talk. The part you just talked about, he gave me that part.
Wow.
With the baby in the kitchen and the barbecue was in the backyard.
Shut up.
Hand to God. And when the movie came out, I was like, I'm about to be on Boys in the Hood. I was like, He had edited me out because I think I was worse than you. I was worse. All you see is my legs and the baby running past my legs to get to y'all in the backyard.
How crazy is that?
Small world, but I still get them little $3 residual checks.
Isn't that something? I know, same thing with me with Martin, with A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. They cut me out too, but I still got my residuals.
I still get my residuals, baby. But you did the dog and I did the baby like he was slow. I was like, come on, baby, now. Get to the back, y'all. You know your mom. I was horrible. And it was that moment of getting edited out of that movie that I said, I got to get my ass in class.
Same for me. That I felt the same way. I got to, shout out to Martin Lawrence, who Cube put him on. He did the interludes on one of my albums. And early on, and Cube said, and Martin said to me, he said, yo, I got this show coming out. He said, and I have a role that I'm going to play. He told me about the whole show. He said, I'm going to play this role. And he said, I want you to, this character, Shanae, he said, I want you to play Shanae's best friend. He said, and you know what I'm going to name her? I said, what? He said, Key Lolo. And listen, a year and a half went by. He did the work on my album. Shout out to Cube and Martin Lawrence. He did the work on my album. I get a call from Warner Brothers Television saying, hey, they want me to come in to read for this role. And I'm thinking, I always talk a good game. That's the story of my life. I talk a good game, girl. It's hell to back this shit up. I talk a good game. It's hell to back it up. So it gets time for me to back it up. And they called me in and he's like, and I'm like, I really don't want to play, in LA, blackface was big. We hated when Shaq got into a skirt and it was playing basketball. And, blackface was really big around that time because remember, we were still fighting a lot of racism in our community, talking about stuff. So when it was like, talk about the homegirls, and see, DC girls are different from South Central girls. Although we're all the same, I was thinking like, these girls in the hood gonna be mad at me, and I'm a girl from the hood, but it was just so extra. But until I went to DC and realized that is it, that's the whole swing of things. And it wasn't really a diss, but I was taking it from my community. So I was a little bit like, I don't want to play this role. I really don't want to just go in there like
so good as Key Lolo.
When I got in the room, that was all my anxiety. I got in the room, all the executives are there, and I'm like, oh, okay, so. And he was like, oh, no, you don't have to audition. It's your role. I was like, oh. All the anxiety went out the window. I was like, yeah, you better get it together.
Yeah.
Got a queen.
Deliver. Now, were you ever worried that the acting would take you away from your music? Because I know a lot of artists deal with that. It's like once they start acting, it's so time consuming that you guys aren't in the studio as often, you're not writing as often because you're learning lines. Did you ever feel like you would lose one to pursue the other?
You know, Tami, I never knew what I was doing. I never knew nothing. I was just a young girl who wanted it always. Since I was a young girl, I always wanted it. And like I said, I wanted it so bad that I went and got training. I wanted it so bad that I would watch. I was a people watcher. I would watch class and style and etiquette. I would look at people and I admire them from a distance and say, I want to be like that, you know? And so I really never understood what I wanted until I started evolving, you know, and evolving has been something that I've continuously done throughout my career.
I love you so much. I have to take a break, but we've got more coming up, soulmate. So you stay right where you are because YoYo is here. Don't go away. This is Get Into It with Tami Roman. Welcome back to Get Into It. I'm here with my girl and hip hop legend, YoYo is here. Listen, a lot of people do not know that we've known each other a while, and they don't know about your philanthropic spirit and energy. And what I mean by that is you've got your school. Yes. You educate the young ones on the hip hop game and the hip hop business. So much so that my daughter was like, I want to learn how to do this from YoYo. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Her.
Yes.
Well, how did you develop the confidence to move from one genre to the other?
Well, you know, I am the intelligent Black woman. No, I'm just joking.
Yes.
I'm just joking. I was going to do a rap. I'm just joking. Because you speak about your daughter, which I love so much, and I'm glad to be one of her first mentors, and I love her so much. You know, I remember when you moved to Los Angeles, and you said, "Okay, YoYo, my baby wants to be up under you," and you guys, yep. You know, our kids were going to the same school in Beverly Hills, and it was just like, "Okay, what are we about to do?" And you know, for me, I think transitioning into the YoYo School of Hip Hop. For me, it was, well, to be totally honest and to be very transparent, I was in my transition. I've been in the industry for a long time. I had been talking to God. I've been praying to God. God had put me in a small room and was speaking to me. And he had given me some instructions, and he told me to open up this school of hip hop. And I'm just like, God, I can barely pay my mortgage. I cannot afford anything else, you know, and I wanted to do it because I was working at the radio station. Kids were calling me up saying, the parents were calling me up saying, how can my kid get in the music industry? They want to do rap. They want to do beat production. My kid wants to get in the dance programs. In LA, there wasn't a lot. There was Debbie Allen, which we love and admire, and I followed her footsteps. I reached out to Congresswoman Waters, and with the help of others around them, they helped me to secure a place. And we put it on the radio. Shout out to KJLH here in Los Angeles, California. They blasted it, and it got a lot of support. We had a waiting list of over 300 kids. It was a success. It was a success. I had kids coming up to me from everywhere saying, you make a statement and you back it up. You make a statement and you back it up. I'm like, you do what? You do what? You make a statement and you back it up. I'm like, that's right. That's right. You know, which, you know, in return, God said to me, you was looking for love, huh? He said, you was looking for love. And when them kids came running up to me, it was the best feeling in the world, Tami. Wow. All my brokenness, you know, the youth is our future and our legacy. And it gave me, it fulfilled me. I thought I wanted to be just successful, but God said, when you give, you get.
Now you're involved with an award show that honors those who have influenced the music industry for Black Music Month. Tell us about your involvement with the Salute Them Awards.
I know. Well, shout out to my co-host, Lonnie Love, who you've seen her. She's an Emmy Award winning. We are airing from the National African American Museum of Music in Nashville, Tennessee, where I'm also an ambassador. And their music program is sponsored by the YoYo, is powered by the YoYo School of Hip Hop. So I go into their schools in Nashville and work with their youth as well. And and teach them music and education through hip hop. And yeah, so we're honoring a Sly and the Family Stone, Patrice Rushen, one of Beyonce's choreographers. Did I say Earth, Wind, and Fire? Did I say Earth, Wind, and Fire? Did I say Earth, Wind, and Fire?
See that? And we're absolutely going to be watching you and supporting you, so you don't have to worry about that. One thing about the soulmates, they support who supports them. So we will be in the building. I want to say that you're inspiring a whole new generation of fans, right? With your music, you did a little stint on Love and Hip Hop, and now you're starring in a Disney Channel project called Saturdays. Now, what's that all about? Now, I know what it's about because I had got the breakdown.
Saturday, it's a Disney TV pilot. It's called Saturdays. Marcy Martin is from Blackish, and she's producing it. And it's a show of young girls, learning relationship, learning friendship, dealing with an illness and overcoming it through skating. And I am the owner of the skating rink, and my name is Duchess.
YoYo, you've got to stop beating me out of roles. I mean, you've got to stop.
Did you audition for Duchess?
I did. And if I have to say one thing, I'm gonna say I'm glad my sister got it.
Praise God. Give me something. To be able to do it for 32 years, to be totally honest, to be able to be in this industry as a woman, a Black woman, and to overcome, and I'm speaking, to you and everybody who's out there, it has not been an easy task. We've had to pack some stones and unload some stones in our backpack. But to still see you, I mean, I look at you all the time. I see you on Instagram. I follow your story. I watch your kids. I always support you. I always like and I comment.
Thank you.
Just to show that it's not an easy task. And when real recognize real, and I see you, and I'm always trying. My two girls, they look up to me, and I'm glad to have girls that respect me. I used to pray for success. Now I just pray for a clean household. And I mean that with clean energy. My kids respecting me, loving me, and appreciating the hard work that I put in. And when I come home, I want to have to kick ass and take names.
And I know you're babies. So since you brought it up, I'm going to ask you, what gifts and gems are you giving them and instilling in them to find their calling in life?
Most recently, I've just been pushing spirituality. I've been pushing spirituality. I've tried everything else. I've given them the world. I've taken them everywhere. They've traveled the world with me. They have to know that success is bigger than them.
What women would you say have inspired you to take your skills to the next level? Who's been influential to YoYo? Because from what I know of you, you're always giving. Who poured into you?
Watching Queen Latifah outdo this industry as a woman has really inspired me. I think Queen Latifah has been somebody, the industry was only giving money to boys, only male groups, you can only get a deal through somebody. So it was like crabs in a bucket for women out here. And Queen Latifah took hold of it. And not only did she smash the industry with creating the Flavor Unit, she did more in the music industry. And now she's on the campaign for women in films. And I'm just proud of her. Tasha Smith. One of my friends. I grew up with Tasha. I love her so much. Watching her inspires me to see her push through all of these brick walls, bust them down. I'm inspired by that. I'm inspired by Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott has, she came into the industry where size mattered, looks mattered, and she defeated that. And that just gives you, and she produced so many people and she showed up so many times for a lot of people. That inspires you to just be a woman. MC Lyte, one of my best friends in this industry, along with the Lady of Rage and Moni Love. But MC Lyte, I mean, women lowering their confidence, not lowering their confidence, understanding what their confidence is amongst other women and allowing us to be in the same room and not feel intimidated or feel like we're challenging each other. That
Right.
inspires me.
Right. And that's what I love. And you calling out so many legendary names and not feeling a way to give people their flowers. That's what I love so much about you, is that poise, that grace, that character, that integrity is why when you say, I've been able to do this for 30 some odd years, that's why. Because we as women have to get to a place where we love on one another, where we
Yes.
appreciate one another, where we
Mhm.
lift one another.
Mhm.
And I have to tell you honestly, YoYo, when you talk about your energy and controlling that and spirituality, you know, I was on a show in an environment that wasn't the happiest place to be, right?
Mhm.
And it just seemed like I was there and I was making good money, but it wasn't fulfilling in any other way. And there were no other opportunities.
Mhm.
It wasn't until I stepped out on faith and got out of that environment to where I could be me. I love to love on people. I love to uplift people. I don't come from a negative space. Once I did that, the floodgates opened.
Mhm.
So I said all that to say this.
Can I tell you this? I'm proud of you for that. I'm
Thank
proud of you for that, because you know what? That was a courageous step. And those who are not in this industry don't understand what a courageous step that was to take. You know, and when you did your last birthday post, and you said about that, I read it all. You talked about your fear. You talked about how devastating it was for you to even get your head wrapped around, I want to take this step, because nobody wants to step into a world of nothing, but you believed in yourself. And
you.
guess what? You've created your own brand, and we follow you and support you.
I'm trying, and I support you as well. I'm going to be watching the Salute Them Awards on June 6th with you and Lonnie Love and all the amazing guests
Yes.
that you're honoring. I'm going
Mhm.
to be watching you on Saturdays. That's going to be on the Disney Channel. I'm going to try to find these clothes because I know you have a fashion line, Sticky Green. Tell me a little bit about that, because then I
You
want
know what? It's a perfume. I'm in perfume school. I'm in perfume school. I did the clothes thing where when you stayed at home for a while. It wasn't new clothes. It was just I was cleaning out my closet. I did this yo-yo closet where I was just cleaning out my closet, and I was like, no, I will sell them for $5.
yeah.
But I wind up giving them all away when people,
That's how I am. I just be like, oh, child, take it.
But I'm in perfume school. We are still working with the Intelligent Black Women's Coalition, and the Yo-Yo School of Hip Hop,
Yes.
Perfume School, and what else? The Black College Expo.
Yes, yes. I love when you do that, because that's when you come down to H Town.
College Expo has been something, Dr. Teresa Price has worked with us, and I've been the ambassador for 9 years. That's where I do my How to Get A's in English through hip hop with YoYo. I've met over, I'm going to say 60,000 kids plus. I've
And they
given away over
love you.
$50,000 in scholarships,
You
and I have been able to reintroduce myself. The kids who don't know about me, they come back, they text me. One kid just got accepted to the Army, and his entry essay, he included me, and it was from the How to Get A's in English through Hip Hop with YoYo, and he mentioned me, and his mom contacted me through social media. And can I tell you something? And when you think people are not paying attention, those are the things that warm my heart. Those are the things that keep me going. I'm working with Eric Bellinger on the new side.
And he's dope. He's so, so talented. I'm excited for everything you've got going on, sis. And before I let you go, we do something around here called Tami's Fast Five. So I'll ask you 5 rapid fire questions, and you just say the first thing that pops into your head.
Gotcha.
Okay. Name your favorite hip hop record from the 90s besides your own.
Lauryn Hill.
Yes. Miseducation.
Miseducated. Mm-hmm.
What current rapper would you love to collaborate with?
Lil Baby.
Okay. Tell me one hidden talent that no one knows you have.
No one hidden talent, and nobody knows decorating houses.
Okay. Now, who had the smoothest lyrical flow on Martin? Kilolo or Shanae?
Oh, Kilolo. Purd.
You better have said Kilolo.
Kilolo Purd. I wrote the rap.
Yes. Have you ever had more than 12 inches of penis?
Oh, God, he's dead. We can't measure it.
Girl, I'm letting you get off out of here. Tell everybody how to reach you on all your social media, please.
Okay.
You're a fool, yo.
Oh, Tami is stupid. I love you so much. I'm on YoYo Fearless on all my social media platforms, and on Twitter, I'm at YoYo Whitaker. Tami, you are just a doll. I love you so much.
I love you so much. Stick around, soulmates. You've got questions. I've got the answers. Ask Tami is up next on Fox Soul. Welcome back to Get Into It. I'm Tami Roman, and it is time for Ask Tami. Now, this is the segment where you send me your questions about relationship drama, work drama, or family drama that's happening in your life. And I do my best to answer your question. So let's take a look at the latest video.
My name is Shauna. I have a question. What do you do about a friend that is very nice, but is a freeloader? Like, we go out, we have fun, we have drinks, and when the bill comes, it's like she never reaches in her purse to pay, or she expects for everyone else to pay the bill. What do you do about it?
You stop going out with her. That's the best advice I can give you. No, realistically, because that's your friend, of course you're not going to stop going out with her. But I think that you absolutely need to establish some boundaries. She has basically taken advantage of you and the other friends because she's gotten away with it so long. So one way to segue into the boundary area is when you go out, you say, oh, excuse me, we're going to have separate checks. Because when you say separate checks, people tend to minimize what they order when they know they have to pay, because now they've got to come out of their pocket for the fee, right? So when you do that, that will, of course, spark conversation. She's probably going to say, separate checks, girl, we don't need no separate checks. Then you say, yes, we do, girl, because every time we go out, I'm the one who's always paying. Now, if you're going to give me your portion ahead of time, then I know I got it in my pocket, present and available for when the bill comes. Because what you ultimately want to do is be able to have a dialogue with her. Or you can wait till the bill comes and get up and go to the bathroom and see what she do from there. But I like having a conversation better. Put her in a position where a conversation will have to be had. If you don't have it beforehand, you can definitely have it at the restaurant when you pull that separate checks out your hat. I'm telling you, I've been here. I've done this before. I had a friend who was the exact same way. And I said to myself, well, I'm just going to stop going out with this person. But then I realized, well, this is my friend. It's the person that I feel most comfortable with. So I'm not going to stop going out, but we need to have a conversation. I did not know how to bring up the conversation. So when we got to the restaurant, I did the separate checks moment. And she was offended that I said separate checks, but that caused us to have a dialogue about it. And I was able to say, I'm not going to be able to foot the bill every time. And it would be different if I foot the bill this time, you did it the next time, but that's never the case. And once I broke it down to her with my receipts of all 7 of the restaurants we had been to in the past month that I covered the bill, she was completely understanding and apologetic, and she paid the bill that night. Okay, I'm telling you how to do this thing. Thank you for sending in that question. Now, if you want some advice on your relationship, your family drama, or a personal issue, all you have to do is send me a video. It takes this amount of time to do. And once you get it, email it to asktami@foxsoul.tv. Or you can post it on Instagram with the hashtag AskTami and someone will get it to me. We're taking a quick break, but you know what's up next, the Power Minute, so don't go anywhere.
You don't indulge in certain activities no more, why you don't associate yourself with certain people no more, and the answer is simple. You can't defeat your demons until you stop enjoying their company. Not just their company, but you got to stop speaking their lingo. When you switch up your lingo, it's like a foreign language to your demons. You don't know hurt or pain until you cry behind closed doors, asking God to show me your mercy, asking God to show me your grace. Listen to me. This was a tough battle for me, and it took me a minute to get here. But when I asked God to strip me of anything that did not have his fragrance, I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know what I was actually praying for until it happened to me. And now, I'm free. Happy.
Thank you, Ingrid. Baby, did you catch what she was putting down? You cannot defeat your demons until you stop enjoying their company and change your language. Now, that was a good Power Minute. I hope it uplifted your spirit. Thank you for joining me today, soulmates. And thanks to my guest, YoYo, for being here, because I've got more great guests and more of my unpopular opinions. Until then, check out my past episodes on the FOXSOUL YouTube channel. Have a great evening. I'll see you later. Stay tuned because the Book of Sean is coming up next. I'm Tami Roman. This is Getting To It, and we're on FOXSOUL.